Okay folks, Sandman here for sleepbreakthrough.com. You asked for it, you got it. The Sandman promises and the Sandman delivers. This is the actual science behind how the whole sleep programming system works and why we use the subconscious mind to help folks make much better choices in their lives, and more positive change, how we impact positive change in folks' life. If you've watched the other videos already, you already understand that 98% of everything that we know about the human mind we've learned in the last 10 years. But more importantly, 80% of what we thought we knew about how the human mind works was actually wrong. So with sleepbreakthrough.com, what I've done with my company is to go through with the new information that we have about the human mind and the way that it affects human behavior, and we've used that to look for negative patterns in people's lives. Now, whether that might be their weight, their lifestyle, maybe they struggle with having a poor mentality, they struggle with their finances, maybe their relationships. There are so many things that are tied directly to your subconscious mind. So what I'm going to do now is explain exactly how the whole thing works. I'm just going to give it to you for free and hope that you like it well enough that you'll stick with me for a while and you'll keep up with us, because every time we've got new stuff coming out, I'd love for you to be right there. I'd love to send you out our video blog and let you know what it is that we're working on. So for right now, here's how the system works. Your life is made up very simply of two things. Number one, the experiences that you have had. And number two, the decisions that you have made to this very second. So you can take two people who have very similar personalities and very similar decision-making ability, and you can give them two separate backgrounds, and their lives will go two different directions. They'll be very different. Their lives will be. On the other hand, you can take two different people and you can put them through the exact same experience. Let's say it's a natural disaster or a war or something to that effect. And they will come out on the other side of that having made different decisions about what that experience meant to them, and that will shape their lives. They will have lives that are vastly different from each other because of what they gained from it. One person might come out of a disaster feeling very bitter and angry and have a very angry life. The other person might feel very grateful and feel full of love and joy because of surviving it, and their lives will be very different. So we cannot control the experiences that you've had in your life. What we can control is the decisions that you have made about your past and the decisions that you're making in the present that will shape your future. That's where this comes in. It's been known for decades that the human mind can process 7 bits of information effectively at any one time. So some a little more, some a little less, but basically 7 bits of information. We also know that the human mind processes information within an 1/18 of a second. It will acknowledge and recognize information in an 1/18 of a second. So give me 1 second. Let's do a little quick math here. I'm going to grab my handy dandy, very, very high-tech whiteboard, and we're going to say 7 bits of information, and you can do that 18 times in a second. So you can process 126 bits of information in any second, okay? So in a minute, that's 7,560 bits per minute of information that you're processing, okay? 60 minutes in an hour, which puts us at, that is 453,600 bits of information per hour. So in a waking day, you've got 16 hours that you would spend awake typically. That means that your mind is processing 7,257,600 bits of information every day of your life. But remember, you can only focus on 7 at a time. So the question is, where do the other 7,257,593 bits of information go? I'll bet you already know the answer. Your subconscious mind takes in that much information every day. And while you sleep, it catalogs that information just like a computer. When you put in all the input into a computer, if you've ever run a defrag on your computer and seen the way that it lines up all the different files, that's what your brain does every night when you sleep. 96 to 98% of your life is dictated by your subconscious mind. So, if I want to make a positive change in my life, does it make more sense to try and use my conscious mind and just make a decision and just beat myself up because I don't have enough willpower? Or does it make more sense to change my subconscious mind and let it do all the work for me? You've been soaking up millions and millions and millions of bits of information Every day, throughout your entire life, from the time you were born all the way up to this very second. That's why you always hear me say, if you want to change your life, change your mind. Change your life one night at a time. Because you've been soaking up all this information subconsciously. I recently went to a program put on by a man who's an absolute expert in the subconscious mind. And he took us through an exercise that basically walked us back through some deep patterns. I found a pattern that I established in my life, a deep pattern that impacted many of my choices that I formed when I was 3 years old. And I could trace it right back to when that soaked into my subconscious mind. So the question then became, how do we talk to the subconscious mind? If we know that that's what the secret is retraining the subconscious mind to see the positive change in your life, to completely negate and overwrite any negative programming that you've been soaking up throughout your life. You think about that for a minute. Let's say you have a woman who's very, very attractive. She's very pretty, and everyone around her can see that she's pretty. She's been pretty all her life. But if she grows up in a house where she's constantly being told that she's ugly, or she's fat, or she's stupid, will she see the pretty face that everyone else sees? No. No. She'll see ugly, she'll see fat, she'll see stupid. Because it's been programmed into her subconscious mind her entire life. All we had to do was figure out, how do we take out the bad programming and put back in some good programming? Here's what we learned. There's a few different times when your subconscious mind is accessible. Number one, during hypnosis. There are many, many times and many examples where hypnosis works great. We found so many examples where someone would go in for smoking or weight loss or whatever it might be. They would go to a hypnotist, the hypnotist would flip their subconscious switch, and bang, it worked. Problem was, it didn't work for long. A lot of times they went right back to their old negative patterns shortly thereafter. Why is that? Well, because they went in and flipped the switch one time when it took them 30 years to build the switch up here. Yeah, you can flip it, but that's 30 years of programming that says, yeah, but I really am a smoker. I know I don't want to right now because this guy told me I don't want to, but I really am a smoker, so now I'm going to smoke again. What we have to do is we have to find a way where we can program that into you every day for months maybe to override 30 years worth of programming. Now, if you could afford to bring in a hypnotist to hypnotize you for 8 hours a day for the next 2 months, I'll bet it'd work just fine. But none of us is going to do that. So hypnotism is out, okay? Second time, deep meditation. Scientifically proven that if you can get yourself into a state of deep, deep meditation where you're using the theta waves of your brain. Alpha waves and theta waves are the 2 times when your subconscious mind is completely open and susceptible to suggestion. So if I could get you into a deep enough meditative state, we could do the exact same thing. But I think you're not going to take the time out of your day to spend hours and hours meditating. I know I'm not going to do it. None of us has the time to do that. Furthermore, it would take too many people. You'd have to do guided meditation. There's the whole thing. Yeah, it would work, but it'd be a real pain, okay? The third time that your subconscious mind is open is while you sleep. When you fall asleep during that